President Kalsayan, we're on the air.
Welcome to the November 15, 2021 meeting of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission. To help slow the transmission of COVID-19 and protect the health and the safety of the community, the City Council, as well as board and commission meetings, will continue to be closed to the public for in-person attendance. The public is encouraged to watch and participate from the safety of their homes to practice social distancing. Meetings are broadcast live on Glendale TV, viewable on Spectrum Cable, Channel 6, and AT&T Viewers, Channel 99. Meetings are also streamed live in high definition on the city's webpage, glendale.ca.gov/live, on youtube.com/myglendale, and on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire devices using a free app called ScreenWave and choosing Glendale TV for the menu. For public comments and questions during the meetings, call 818-937-8100. Public comments on a specific agenda items will be taken when that agenda item is discussed. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Alcazar.
Here.
Mick.
Here.
Begian. Begian, you might be on mute.
Here.
Thank you. Wolfson.
Here.
And President Kalsayan.
Here.
The agenda for the November 15, 2021 regular meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside City Hall on or before November 12, 2021. Item 2, introductions and presentations. At A is introduction of new Commissioner Regina Alcazar.
Thank you, President Kalfayan, members of the Commission. I would like to introduce our newest Commissioner, Commissioner Regina Alcazar. She's been a Glendale resident for the last 15 years. She has a number of degrees, one from University of Southern California in Policy Planning and Development, and her second one at Columbia University in Urban Planning. She works as a program officer for Local Initiatives Support Corporation, and she provides communication, technical assistance, and support related to the emergency rental assistance programs that are provided to residents in Los Angeles and throughout the Los Angeles area. Commissioner Alcazar has over 7 years experience in urban planning and community engagement, working with communities on improving their neighborhoods through transportation, public art, open space, and economic development. Staff met with Commissioner Alcazar last week and gave her an overview of the department. And while we were speaking with her, she did have a lot to do with the Urban Art Master Plan that was adopted by the City Council a couple of years ago. She's very active in the community, and we do welcome her and looking forward to working with you, Commissioner Alcazar. Very excited to have you on board. So thank you.
Yes, thank you for that introduction. I'm very excited to be working with all of you here. Myself and my son have both, grew up here and have benefited from parks and community services throughout our lives. So very excited to be able to contribute and continue to improve our city services.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you also to welcome you. And we have a challenge. Thank you for joining us. The challenge is to develop new parks in this community. Next item, please.
Next is item 3, upcoming council agenda items.
Thank you, President Kalfayan, members of the Commission. We have 2 items coming up. One on November 16th, Community Service and Parks regarding funding recommendations by the Glendale Continuum of Care Board for round 1 fiscal year 2020-2021 carryover youth set-aside funds, and round 2 fiscal year 21-22 of the Homeless Housing Assistance and Prevention Program funding allocation, the amount of $290,000. Second item will be on November 30th. It's the approval of the City of Glendale's analysis of impediments to fair housing choice and city submission to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. This is a joint report that we're taking with Community Development Housing Section. That's it, and I would like to wish all the commissioners and staff a happy Thanksgiving. Our next meeting, depending on the next agenda item, we might have our next meeting in January. So I do wish you happy holidays and a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 4, Commission staff comments.
Okay, Commissioner Wolfenson.
Thank you. I'm being called out of alphabetical order. First of all, I want to welcome Regina to the commission. I'm very glad that you're here, and I look forward to working with you. Second, I saw on the council agenda for tomorrow night, and I know this is our friends in Public Works, that they're going to be applying for a CAL FIRE grant to plant 500 trees in South Glendale, which makes me very happy. Because as you know, I'm a big fan of trees, and particularly in areas that need more trees. But as long as we're on the subject of adding trees, I wanted to mention that there are some other areas along Mountain and Ethel Streets in particular, where there were trees that died as much as 20 years ago. And I'm hoping that we'll get replacements planted there at some point. So I just want to mention that in the parkway, because some people have put in cacti and other things that are not really okay to put in there. And finally, I want to thank you, Onik, for responding. I had sent you a question about Emerald Isle Park, and just to know that it's on the map for some upgrades within the next year or so. So thank you so much. And I will shut up now. Thanks.
That's it. Thank you for your comments. I'm going with the ladies first. Okay. Commissioner Alcazar.
Thanks, Sarah. No, I do not have any comments at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mick.
Yeah, I have a few things I'd like to bring up. I have yet to tour Rockhaven, and I would really like to have a tour there, especially since there's a new committee deciding what's going to be done with that. I wanted to present to the commissioners to see if we want to do a group tour of the site and maybe work together with that committee to help move it along and bring it forward. That's one thing. Second thing I wanted to bring up was Fremont Park will be beginning its renovation in the next 6 to 8 months. They have a project manager now, and there is space in that park for art. I would like our commission to work with Arts and Culture to help decide what sort of art should go into that park. Lastly, not lastly, but next to last is the parking lots that have been discussed for South Glendale and possibly a dog park also. I know that we were, this may be wrong, parking lot 11, something near the Armory downtown, to see if that's still in contention for development into a park, because that would be the closest park and doggy park to all those new apartment buildings downtown. Whereas like Pelanconi would be a drive away for all of those people. I think we need to keep that in mind for moving that project forward. My last comment is I was at Adams Square Mini Park today, and Chris Peplow was there, and they are planting a monarch butterfly way station in the park that started today and replacing the windows in that historic gas station. I wanted to thank the parks for doing that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for comments.
President Coffin, can I comment on one of the items?
Please go ahead.
Thank you. Commissioner Meek, in regards to Lot 11, there are two things that we'll be working on simultaneously. The first item would be the potential dog park. Council has asked us, given us direction to look at a number of sites, 3 sites. We will be having a community meeting, hopefully within the next few months. We're hoping in January. And we will bring those 3 sites to the public. And depending on public's input, we will make a recommendation to City Council. Lot 11 for a dog park. You're right, it's centrally located, it's South Glendale. It's in the area where there's a number of multi-units. But Council asked us to look into both those locations, let it be Lot 11 and Pelagoni. If Council decides an alternate location and not Lot 11, then we will come back to Commission as well as Council and look into developing Lot 11 as a park with passive recreation, that it be a picnic area and a playground. Of course, we'll have a number of community meetings and see what the community wants. So moving forward, we're going to be looking at that area for a dog park first. Depending on what happens at the community meeting and what Commission and Council decides, then we'll take the next steps for a park. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Bulani, Council is taking this into consideration, where to develop it?
The dog park, yes. About a month ago, staff and I took a report to Council for a location for a dog park. We did present a few locations. One was Camino San Rafael, another location was Pelanconi, and then we had another location up at Brand. Council had asked us to look into Pelanconi, Lot 11, and work with GCC to see if we can use the Garfield campus. We are in contact with Garfield, GCC, and waiting for their response.
Thank you. Commissioner Sardabekian.
Hello. First of all, welcome, Ms. Commissioner Alcazar. It's good to have someone with a very different experience and, I guess, background. So welcome. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun, a lot of good discussions with you here. So I just wanted to say that at first. Samuel, sorry. Mr. Onik, I got a chance to speak to Mr. Kasakian a couple weeks ago regarding some of the concerns, or I guess some of the things that we had discussed. And one of the things that kind of an idea that people had actually brought up to him, and he kind of addressed it with me, was the possible use of all the public schools we have, obviously not as parks themselves, but as play areas for people to use, between the hours of 5 and 8 p.m. And if there's any studies on that, or if there's any way we could work along with the school district to try to kind of make, double use of those facilities. Most of them, especially the elementary schools, obviously the high schools have their, sports and whatnot afterwards, but the elementary schools, they're all free pretty much after 4 or 5 p.m. So from 5 to 8, I think we would be able to, use those facilities, especially in those areas that we really, really are desperate for parks for the time being. Obviously, our long-term goal would be to find more land and purchase it and eventually develop it into a park. But for the time being, have there been any studies done or anything out there that you could kind of comment on?
Sure.
Great question, President Kalfai, members of the commission, Commissioner Sardabekian. We've had reports, we have to dig them out. I know when I first started working with the city about 18 years ago, we did have a joint use facility over at Pacific Edison, and that changed in 2013 because there were concerns with safety and security over at Pacific Edison. The elementary schools are used Monday through Friday till 6:30 for their programs, let it be after-school program, the ELP program, ACES program, and so on. I think it is a good idea to have something, or the playgrounds open after 6. I know growing up in LA, we would go to the nearest elementary school provided by LAUSD, and they would call it youth services, and they would be open till 7, 8 o'clock, and we'd hang out and play, carom boards, athletics, and so on. So that is something that we can look into. It's just the security, liability, and safety that we need to be concerned about. But we can look for the report. I know there's been reports out that we've worked on in the past, and we can come back to commission with a final analysis on it.
I see. Okay.
Okay. Next item, Iris, please.
Next is item 5, oral communications. We don't have any callers. Item 6, consent items. That A is approval of the minutes of the commission regular meeting held on October 18, 2021.
Okay. Any commissioner that has to do anything changes in there? And otherwise, can I have an approval? Motion to approve the middle.
I'll second that.
Iris?
I'm sorry, I think I missed who made the motion.
Stephen Meek.
Thank you. I'll take roll call. Commissioners Alcazar?
I will abstain because I was not involved in the meeting.
Great, thank you. Meek?
I approve.
Sardarbegian?
Yes, approve.
Wolfson?
Yes.
And President Kalfayan?
Yes.
Item 7, action items. At A is selection of Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission officers. At 1 is selection of president for the term November 2021-2022. And at 2 is selection of secretary for the term November 2021 to 2022.
Didn't you jump, Iris, for motion to cancel the meeting for December?
The order on the agenda is 7A. Action item 7A is selection of parks. I'm sorry?
Oh, selection. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So President Kalfayan, if you would allow me to take over at this time so that I can take nominations.
Please.
Okay, so the business before the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission is the selection of a new president. I will now entertain nominations for that office. You may nominate yourself or one of your fellow commission members.
Okay. I am going to recommend Commissioner Sardarbegian. Usually we take this by turns, like I am right now the president. Before me was Wilfredson, and we have now giving a chance for Sardarbegian. So I would nominate him.
Do you accept that nomination, Sardarbegian?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Are there any further nominations for the office of president? Okay, hearing no further nominations, I'll proceed to the roll call. Please answer yes or no. Commissioner Alcazar?
Yes.
Kalfayan?
Yes.
Meek?
Yes.
Sardarbegian?
Sure.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes.
I now
Congratulations.
declare Commissioner Sardarbegian the duly elected president of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission. Mr. President, the task before you now is to open the floor for nominations for secretary.
Could we have a nomination for secretary of the Parks and Recreation Commission?
I would like to nominate Stephen Meek.
I would like to nominate Iris Marino Hernandez, if we are allowed.
No, we're not
I
allowed
would
to.
love to serve in that capacity, but no, it has to be somebody from within the
Okay,
commission.
let me second Commissioner Mick for secretary. Go ahead, Iris.
Okay, hearing no further nominations, I'll proceed with the roll call. Commissioner Alcazar,
Yes.
Alfayan,
Yes.
Meek,
I'll abstain.
okay, Wilson,
Yes.
and President Sardarbegian.
Yes.
Okay, I now declare Commissioner Meek the duly elected Secretary of the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Item 7D is cancellation of the December 2021 Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission regular meeting. One is a motion directing staff to cancel the December 2021 Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission regular meeting. President Sardarbegian, members of the commission, being that the December regular meeting would fall so close to the holidays on December 20th, staff is proposing cancellation of the meeting, and we don't have any action items to take to you in December, and any information only items can be held off to January.
Do we need a motion for this?
Yes.
We are asking for an action at this time for a motion, yeah, for approval.
Okay.
I move that we cancel our December meeting.
I second that.
President Sardarbegian, now that you're president, you would abstain from making motions or seconding.
I'll second it for him.
Thank you. I'll take roll call. Commissioners Alcazar,
Yes, even though I would love to see your faces sooner rather than later.
Kalfayan,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes?
Wilson,
Yes.
and President Sardarbegian.
Yes.
Thank you. 7C, rescheduling of the January and February 2022 Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission regular meeting. One is a motion directing staff regarding the rescheduling of the January and February 2022 Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission regular meeting.
Okay. I move it to reschedule it.
As proposed.
Can
Just
I
to
have
give
an
a summary,
explanation?
sorry, I just, what was
may I
that?
have an explanation of why we're rescheduling?
Certainly. Every year, the January and February regular meetings fall on a holiday. The third Monday of every January and February are a holiday, which is when our meetings typically take place. So this year, we checked with GTV and staff availability as well, and we are proposing that we move the January 2022 meeting from January 17th to January 24th, and that we move the February meeting from February 21 to February 28, which is both are the fourth Monday of the month.
Thank you.
Certainly.
I move that we change both of those dates.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Commissioners Alcazar,
Yes.
Alfayan,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
and President Sardarbegian.
Yes.
7D, Filipino American Friendship Monument. One is a motion recommending that the City Council approve the installation of a Filipino American Friendship Monument by the Filipino American Business Association of Glendale, Greater Los Angeles County, FABAG GLAC, adjacent to the Adult Recreation Center at Central Park.
Okay, President Kalfai and members of the commission, thank you. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Real quick, I do have a few slides. The Filipino American Business Association of Glendale, which was founded.
Excuse me,
it-
could the person who's presenting it just, oh, that might be on my,
It's
click
me.
on the got it. Because I don't know if it's blocking oh no, okay, it's just on mine. Sorry about that.
Sure. The Filipino American Business Association of Glendale was founded in September of 1990 to improve intercultural relations among many ethnic communities within the city of Glendale. The association reached out to staff a few months ago to propose installing a monument somewhere in any of our parks. In talking with the association, staff met them on site at the Adult Recreation Center, showed them a temporary location in front of the ARC building, the Adult Recreation Center. And then eventually, once when the new Central Park is built, there's going to be a museum row, like a sister city plaza area that will be built with other monuments that are currently in our parks or around the city. So eventually, if the commission decides to place or approve the placement of the monument at the Adult Recreation Center, this will be a temporary installation. And once Central Park is built, the association would move the monument over to the Sister City Plaza area. The monument that they would like to build will symbolize a tribute to the Filipino American Business Association, leaders past and present. It commemorates the 30 years of the Filipino American community service and the collaboration that they've done in City of Glendale and surrounding areas, and basically show gratitude of friendship to the Glendale residents. The monument design, the design itself will have an etching of the two flags, the Philippine flag and the American flag. The hands are clasped together, which is a meaning of friendship and collaboration. The monument, like I mentioned earlier, will honor the city and the leaders of the association. There will be some writing thanking the major donors of the monument, thanking the mayor and the city council members for the placement of the monument. And there will be two flag holders represented in the picture here that would be used for ceremonies only. The monument will be 7 feet by 4 feet, 7 feet high, 4 feet wide, and the location would be right at the entrance of the Adult Recreation Center. And the Adult Recreation Center is located at 201 East Colorado. That's one of our community centers / senior centers where we have a large Filipino American presence. They have the weekly mixers there pre-COVID. Every Thursday, we would have close to 100, 150 participants enjoying the events. The budget and schedule. So as for the city, there is no fiscal impact. The association would be responsible for raising funds, installation, and also the relocation once when Central Park is built. Once when the commission approves, we will go ahead and work on an agreement with the association, a maintenance agreement, as well as a construction agreement for them to have their constructor come in and install the monument. With that being said, I do have a number of association members on the call with us. Miss Edith Fuentes, who we've been working with, and also Miss Nina Maldonado are on the call, and two other individuals, which my apologies for not getting your names. One is, Celia, and we have Marlene. So Edith, would you like to go first?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. President. I like the sound of president instead of chair. Members of the commission, staff, I'm Edith Fuentes, past president and executive board member of the Filipino American Business Association of Glendale, also known as FABAG. Joining us, like what Onig already mentioned, are Marlene Cagatao, one of the founders and first president of the Filipino American Business Association of Glendale. And yes, she's still here after 32 years and will continue on. We also have Celia De Feito, one of the founders also and past president of the Filipino PBAG. Nini Maldonado, past president and an active member of FIBAG. Onig already mentioned a lot of the items that I wanted to mention or say. I'm just going to go through a brief information. FIBAG, also known as, is a non-profit organization founded in 1990 with the help of the City of Glendale and the Glendale Chamber of Commerce. The purpose of FIBAG is to provide charitable and exemplary community services that are based upon the highest levels of trust and integrity. We also promote and encourage intercultural collaboration, relation, and alliance among different groups in the community. As a matter of fact, we're hoping that the Armenian Society, Latino group, Korean, and other groups will be involved in this project or will be supporting our project. And as mentioned earlier again, the Filipino American Friendship Monument will be symbolizing many things to the community. Specifically, it will honor and it will be a tribute to one of the former presidents and founders of FIBAG, Ruby De Vera. She's one of the pillars of many organizations or PhilAm organizations in LA. We will also commemorate the more than 30 years of community service of FIBAG, not only to Glendale, but also to the adjacent communities. And at the same time, this monument will symbolize our gratitude and friendship to the City of Glendale, the community, adjoining communities, and to the residents of LA County. We hope that this monument will be a symbol of our lasting friendship with each and everyone who are wanting to cooperate, communicate, and collaborate with all of us. And hopefully, we will make this dream a project reality. Before I conclude, I'm just going to keep it very short. We just want to thank staff from the City Manager's Office, Community Development, Building and Safety, and Permit Services, Glendale Library, Arts and Culture, and of course, Parks and Recreation for all the help and guidance they have been giving us from the beginning of this project, and we hope all the way to the end and relocation of the project. And thank you so much for the opportunity to present to all of you our project. And we are hoping for your favorable consideration and positive recommendation to the City Council. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Celia, Marlene, and Nini. If any one of them would like to say something else?
Thank you all for giving us a chance. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you all for giving us a chance to be heard. And the Filipino community support this project and looking forward to your positive recommendation to the City Council for their approval.
Nini Maldonado with Faybank, past president. I just want to say that I am in support of this project and hoping for your positive recommendation to the City Council. Thank you.
You're on.
Yeah, you're muted.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Celia Di Fato, past president and current member of the executive board of the Filipino American Business Association of Glendale. We thank you for this opportunity to make a presentation and to be heard. And we look forward to an even stronger ties with the city of Glendale and its residents through the establishment of this Philippine American Friendship Monument. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And also we have donated 100 trees sometime in the 90s. So I guess
In
you
the
need
past.
more trees. And maybe we could fundraise for the trees.
Back in, if I may just elaborate on that, back in 1998, to commemorate the Philippines' 100th year of Independence Day, KBAG donated 100 trees to the city, and they were all planted at the Glendale Sports Complex, just to let you know. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna need a motion or, I think comments first, so.
Nobody's calling on us, but I'll go ahead and kick it off and say, first of all, I'm really glad to be able to make a recommendation, positive recommendation on this project. I think the Filipino population in Glendale has been a growing sector. It's the largest component of our Asian American population in the city. And it's I think Filipino history and culture are something that we could all pay attention to and learn about. So I don't know if I should make a motion or let the other commissioners speak first. I'll wait.
Mr. President, if you can give us a chance, if each of us has to make a comment or recommendation, if you, with the way you like to.
I would love to hear everyone's comments on it, and I'll let you guys speak before I give my 2 cents on this. But if any of our commissioners would like to, questions or comments, I would love to hear them.
If I make a comment, I'm very familiar with the Filipino community. I have worked with them. I have done fundraising politically. I have worked with them in different areas. And I know, especially Edith, have worked very hard with her, very long time since she was the administrator of the zoning administrator. She has helped this community build churches, businesses. She has supported everyone in this community. So they do deserve to be recommended. This is just a comment at this time.
Thank you.
Anyone?
I am very much in favor of this. I really appreciate all that you have done to help our community and being a part of this community. The more partners we have, the better this city will be. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would also like to just make a comment. I just want to recognize really the significance in this being my first meeting as a commissioner, and that I have fellow City Commissioner Fuentes on the call, as well as other amazing Filipina leaders who are working in the Glendale community in this meeting. So yeah, thank you so much for your work to recognize the importance of the Filipino community in our city, and for really paving the way for me. I really appreciate it. I did have just a clarification question because in Onig's presentation, it did not mention maintenance of the monument, and I believe in the report it did say that the Filipino American Business Association of Glendale was going to maintain the monument throughout its life. Is that right?
Yes, Commissioner Chair Sardar Begyan, members of the commission. Yes, that's why we're going to be working on the maintenance agreement moving forward after what commission decides. We'll go ahead and work on the maintenance agreement, get the process going. I know Edith and her team have been working with building and safety in terms of permits. So once when we take this to council, this should be, our goal is, and I believe the association's goal is to have this installed by middle to end of March, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Thank
we're on track. The agreement's going to be take us some time. We will get our legal department involved, and it will give time for the association to review the maintenance agreement and so on, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Mr. President, can I have make a motion to move this project?
Absolutely.
So I'm moving the motion recommending that the City Council approves the installation of the Filipino American Friendship Monument by the Filipino American Business Association of Glendale at the adjacent to the Adult Recreation Center at the Central Park.
I second it.
Commissioners Alcazar,
Yes.
Kalfayan,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Wolfson,
Yes.
President Sardar Begyan.
Yes.
Item 8, reports information only. At A is Recreation and Community Services Section Monthly Activity Report for November 2021.
Sabak, are you still here?
Yes. Good afternoon, President Sardar Begyan, members of the commission. My name is Sabak Garabedian, Senior Community Services Supervisor with the Community Services and Parks Department. I will be going over our monthly activity report for the month of October. Give me a moment to share the screen. And please confirm you guys could share the screen if there's any buttons that need to be removed.
We're seeing it.
Perfect.
I apologize. That was just me on my computer. It's brand new and it's not.
No problem, President Wolfson. I just wanted to make sure because I'm on 2 monitors. Sometimes I get text messages to remove, so you're not the only one. So moving on with our presentation. So since August of 26th of 2021, the existing order and our requirements and our limitations are the same. There's no changes. So we move forward into the next month with this in mind. However, I do want to call out that starting November 29, our senior exercise classes will be offered in a hybrid model. They will be offered in person and online simultaneously, and we'll hope to see a lot of our seniors come back. On Saturday, October 16, 2021, the department hosted its annual Fall Festival at Pacific Community Center. The event attracted over 400 attendees throughout the 3-hour duration from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Fall Festival brings the community together and welcomes the fall season. This year's edition of the event included carnival games, arts and crafts, hand painting, Glendale Rocks climbing wall, 2 obstacle courses, and a soccer course. Several city departments also attended the event and promoted their programming, such as Library Arts and Culture, Glendale Fire Department, Glendale Police Department, Community Development Department, Glendale Water and Power, and of course, our own department as well, Community Services and Parks. The event also had two sponsors, DAG Law Firm, who donated 10 gift cards and 3 blenders, which were raffled off throughout the event, and Soccer Shots, who donated 1 free season of Soccer Shots youth soccer training to 1 child. The highlight of the event is our pumpkin patch, with featuring over 200 different pumpkins in different shapes and sizes. And it's an opportunity for our community to come to the pumpkin patch and take pictures, their family photos, and send out to their friends. Moving on, childcare programs and parents' night out. On October 29, we had 25 participants ages 5 to 14 years old who came to Pacific Community Center for Parents' Night Out. Parents' Night Out takes place from 6 p.m. to midnight, and it's an opportunity for parents to drop off their children and do what they need to do, what they want to do, while we take care of the kids, feed them, and entertain them. Obviously, being so close to Halloween, this edition of Parents' Night Out featured fall and pumpkins and decorating and a costume contest and crafts along that nature. In October, Trails and Open Space programs had 2 volunteer workdays and 1 interpretive program. On October 9, 8 volunteers joined staff for a Riverwalk workday. On October 16, 41 volunteers joined staff for a wilderness workday at Duke-Majan Wilderness Park. And on October 23, Dr. James Adam led the medicinal plant hike at Duke-Majan Wilderness Park. 80 participants had RSVP'd for that event, but due to the weather, only 23 actually showed up on the day of. Our Youth and Family Services section was responsible for the STAR program and Teen Night Out programs. During the month of October, the STAR program had their weekly workshops. Dinner was provided each meeting, whether it was donated by the Glendale Association of Realtors or members of the community. STAR students had their annual election of officers, learned about emergency preparedness and what to do in case of an emergency, had a bullying workshop presentation by Glendale Unified School District, also a presentation on verbal and nonverbal communication. Day 2 decorated pumpkins, held a costume contest, and learned more about Dia de Muertos. Excuse me. Youth and Family Services organized Teen Night Out during the month of October at Maple Park Community Center and at Pacific Community Center. On October 9, GUSD staff member Saida Ram led a presentation and discussion about feelings and thoughts about returning to in-person school. On October 29, Charlene Cruz with Glendale Unified School District led a presentation on positive thoughts that lead to positive actions. Excuse me. Also on October 29, Teen Night Out participants decorated pumpkins in addition to participating in various Halloween-themed activities. On Saturday, October 16, we also had Maple All-Inclusive Play Day taking place at Maple Park Community Center's brand new playground, or Shane's Inspiration Playground. MIP Day is a means to create social inclusion through the universal language of play. During the 2-hour event, we had 23 participants attending. Therapeutic Recreation Program on Thursday, on October 28th, the Club Maple program held its annual Halloween event at Maple Park. The event took place from 5:30 to 8 p.m. The Club Maple program is one of 2 therapeutic recreation programs offered to adults with intellectual disabilities. The Halloween event attracted over 40 participants. Participants watched a scary movie and showed off their spooky costumes. And as of our senior nutritional meals program continues in the adapted formats, whether it's in-person pickup of a cold or hot meal, depending on the day of the week, or home delivered meals for those that are homebound. As of October, staff has been serving an average of 10,435 meals per month in the altered congregate meals program, and an average of 1,200 meals per month for the traditional home delivered meals program for homebound seniors who are shut in due to physical and other ailments unrelated to COVID-19. And that, commissioners, concludes my presentation if anybody has any questions.
I don't have a question, but go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Salazar-Bedian.
You go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you for the presentation. And I went through the Adult Rec Center, having watched how they do the preparation of these meals and the distribution of the meals. It's handled beautifully by this department, and I commend you all for what you're doing for the community. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to also say thank you so much. You know, this thing has just dragged on so long and we're all really, really tired of it. And, you know, it takes a lot to stay the course, and that's a lot of meals. 10,000 meals, that's a lot of meals. I don't know if anybody did the math, but that's a heck of a lot of meals every day that you're putting together, having to abide by all the appropriate sanitary and so forth rules. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'd like to give kudos to the Direct Supervisor Eileen Isayan and Maggie Kavarian for overseeing that operation. So, and of course to their team, the staff that make it happen day in and day out. So thank you for recognizing them.
I had a follow-up to that. And likewise, I also wanted to extend my appreciation to the Parks and Services Department for all of the great, amazing work that you do for the community. For the senior meals, I also agree that it is a fantastic program, and I understand that it has expanded because of COVID. But I did want to hear if the department had plans for continuing to serve this capacity of people now that, you know, things are slowly opening up, not just yet, but if there were, you know, plans for continuing this service at this capacity.
President Sardarbakian, Commissioner Alcazar, I could defer to Maggie. Maggie, I noticed you came on, so I'll defer to you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm Maggie Kavarian, Senior Community Services Supervisor, overseeing the Senior Services section. To answer your question, we are working with LA County to work on a reopening plan for our elderly nutritional meals program. Most of our funding comes from Los Angeles County through various grants and funding sources. That being said, we are awaiting more news from Los Angeles County to see what those funding sources are going to be, whether from the federal government or from the state or through the county itself. And that will most likely determine how we're going to serve and how many meals we will serve, or we're going to have to phase back to our well, I should say scale back to our 3,600 meals a month. At this point, we're still in limbo regarding the number of meals per month to be served. But we're continuing to exceed expectations. We're continuing at that 10,000 to 11,000 meals per month. We are noticing that many of the seniors who used to be participating in our congregate meals program are now transitioning to our home delivered meals program because of aging and the inability to come out and pick up a meal. So we are actually exploring that as well to possibly increase home delivered meal program participation, and we'll see maybe possibly a decrease in our congregate meal program participation. I hope that answers some of your question.
Yes, no, thank you for that update.
Any more comments or questions? No. All right, Iris. Next section.
Okay, the last item is 8B, Park Services Section, Monthly Activity Report for September 2021.
Good afternoon, President Sardarbakian, members of Commission, Coco Panosian with the Park Services Report. The month of September, you have the written report. The section completed 902 work orders, of which 861 were completed by groundskeepers, 9 were pesticide applications, and 32 work orders by irrigation crews for total labor hours of 1,320. We actually completed a couple of major projects this past couple of months. Dunsmore Field was turned back over to the groups for its use, as well as Montrose Field. We are 90% completed at the Brand Ball Field. We're working with Ms. Golia to identify and order benches so we can place them on the outside for the children for the T-ball field. Also some safety-related padding for the backstops, and we are looking at turning that field over to the groups in January for use. Similarly, the Verdugo Community Garden project that we had, we still have one item pending for completion. The community garden is set. We've shown you different times the pictures of the updates from that project. We still need to install some sort of a shade structure over the 2 benches we put in, the seating area. So once that is completed, we'll close the loop on that and show you a final picture of that presentation of the project as well. We are currently working at the sports complex, the field number 2, as well as Pacific Park Field for those renovations. And the big project we've already started is the re-landscaping of Duke Major's Wilderness Park as part of the barn project and the restroom project that is in construction right now, soon to be completed. We want to have this opening be as beautiful as the park has been in years. So staff is putting in quite the effort at Duke Major. Most of these projects we'll be showing you in the months of January and February as we come up, so you'll be busy seeing me quite a bit at the end of these meetings. Lastly, I wanted to bring up last meeting, there were a couple of questions from the commissioners related to the capital projects. One of them was Commissioner Meek asking about, artwork in the Central Park project. And I did mention that we'll be able to share the Central Parks Master, a plan that was adopted by council. It seems to be that was a large file, so I've asked Iris's help in making sure that file goes out to the commission. It's hopefully we'll get that over to you so you can see the overall details of the plan that was adopted by council for Central Park. Also, a question about the soccer field at Fremont, whether they had benches or weren't as part of the plan. That was from current president Sardar Begian. I checked with the project manager on that project, and yes, the fields will have some sort of benches or seating involved for the soccer, as well as some of the other amenities that we had identified. Those are all that I have at the moment to share with Commission. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to address them for you.
Any comments or questions?
The Dugmagian Stone Barn, do we have a completion date on that?
Commissioner Meek, we are currently looking at mid-December for final installation of the interior of the barn with all the upgrades and the digital effects. That is still the timeline for it. And the restroom project is about 95% complete. We're looking at getting some the final sign off by the inspection. There were minor things that needed to be addressed. So the restroom is just about completed, and inside the barn, the educational components are being looks like be finalized with the installation mid-December.
Thank you.
I have a comment. I have to congratulate you. This is the shortest meeting that we went through. Thank you. And as far as this is the end of the year, this is the last meeting of this year's meeting. And I want to thank Mr. Bulanikian and his staff during the whole year, how hard they work, how hard they did adapt to different things for the COVID. They didn't sit down and just say it's COVID, it's closed. They thought how they can serve this community very hard. I do appreciate it. I would thank you, and I'm very appreciative of what you've done. Thank you so much, and I look forward to work with you for next year.
Thank you, Chair Sardar Begian, members of the commission, Commissioner Kalfayan. Yes, it's been nonstop. With COVID, before COVID, after COVID, nonstop. Couldn't have done it without the support of commission as well as our staff, our section managers, Coco, Teresa, Arsine, Judith, Sevak, Maggie, Gabrielle, and the frontline staff. They're the men and women that are, the boots on the ground, day in, day out, providing the services, and that are the face of our department. So special kudos to them, and I want to thank them personally as well. But yeah, it's a team effort, and we do have a lot of work to do in terms of creating more open space and parks, but we are getting there. Great question, Commissioner Meek. I can't wait until Duke Nature Center is open. If all goes well, opening should be mid-February. we will have a huge grand opening. So, keep your eyes out for the invitation, but we are going to have a big hoopla, as I call it, because that's been a project in the making since 1996. So we're really excited. But thank you for the kind words, Commissioner Kalfayan, and thank you for the support.
Thank you.
And I believe we don't have any more items on today's agenda. Is that correct, Iris?
That's correct.
So before we close the last meeting of 2021, first and foremost, I want to once again welcome Ms. Alcazar to our commission. Again, you're going to be a big part of this commission. I second everything President Kalfayan just said about our all the staff members. Each and every one of you play a very, very important role, and I think that while other cities have kind of shut down or have kind of gone on cruise control, I think you guys showed your true colors because you guys have worked harder despite the obstacles that have been in your way, whether it be staffing or any other issues or problems that have come your way. So I really, really appreciate that. And last and definitely not least, President Kalfayan, thank you very, very much for your time. I know you're not leaving us, but you're just leaving your post as president. But it was an honor to kind of learn a lot from you in the last year or so. So I appreciate everything you've done. Unfortunately, Ms. Alcazar wasn't with us in the last year to kind of see how great you were, but I'm sure I speak on behalf of others who are very appreciative of everything you've done, both as president and even before president. So thank you very much. And I hope everyone has a very, very happy holiday season. Enjoy the time with your family and friends. Stay healthy, obviously. That's the most important thing. And we will meet again on January 24th, unless anyone has any other comments before we adjourn today's meeting.
I just wanted to jump in and thank outgoing President Kalfayan, who was incredibly kind to me when I was the president of the commission, and he would come to City Hall when I was the only person having to come, and it really made me feel comfortable and not alone. I wasn't like holding the whole thing in my hands alone, so I wanted to step in and say that, and also wish everybody a really, really happy and healthy and safe holiday season.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to bring up again the possibility of a tour of Rockhaven, to find out if the rest of the commission would like to do that as a joint venture, or should I just try to arrange it on my own?
I think we could set it up because I believe Ms. Alcazar is, I'm sure she would want to see it since she's new here, as so am I. So
we probably, President Sardarbekian, we probably will, if everyone is interested, you guys could let us know through Iris or Onig. We'll probably have to schedule you separately just to avoid the Brown Act. So we could take you, but we probably won't take more than 2 commissioners at a time. So
sounds good.
Okay. I'll reach out to us.
Thank you, Iris.
And then Commissioner Meek asked for the working group for Rockhaven. I'll work with community development to see if there is a group. As of now, I know community development is working on a group, but it hasn't been finalized. Friends of Rockhaven, Glenville Historical Society, and CV Historical Society. And I will ask them to include Parks Commission as well.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
And same to you.
Yeah, happy holidays. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
President Sardarbekian, are we adjourned?
Yes, if we could call for adjournment.
Yes, we're adjourned at 3:37 p.m.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.